Hi there, my name's Jay. I am pleased to introduce Greg Eilers to the Crowdsourcing Promising Practices community today. He's actually joining us from Modesto, California. And I asked him what he thinks teaching is like, and he says, teaching is like the best job in the world. Today, he's going to share with us how to create a coat of arms using Google Drawings. So Greg, so appreciative that you've joined us today.
My pleasure, man.
Whenever you're ready, go ahead and share your screen and explain to us how you use this tool in your classroom.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for having me. This is great. Honored to be a part of what you're creating here. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So basically what I'm going to share with you guys is kind of a cool way to use Google Draw. Screen sharing good?
Looks good to me.
Yeah, cool. So Google Draw is kind of one of those, as I like to say, most underutilized Google Suite apps. So this will hopefully give you an idea of what Google Draw is and some of the things that you can do with it. And what I'm going to show is really nothing too crazy, but it hopefully will give you an idea of how you could use the app in your learning environment, no matter where you're at. So as you can see, I'm kind of already giving it away, but this is what I like to call my Rachel Ray example. I've already got something done coming out of the oven to showcase, so you can see kind of the end product of what you're going to create or have your students create. So this is my coat of arms, again, using Google Draw to create something like this for your students to interact with. So for example, you bring in the image of a shield as your kind of background coat of arms, and then within the shield, you've got different artifacts that when you click on it, it will actually link out to some other piece of evidence. So for example, most of these link out to YouTube videos, giving a little bit more insight on whatever it is that you want to show. So for example, like this could be like a way to get to know your classroom. So instead of doing your typical about me worksheet or whatever that might be, have your audience create something that's going to tell their story of who they are and where they come from. So for example, I've got the letter E. My last name is Eilers, which begins with an E. And so this is going to link out to just a little researched family crest of where the Eilers name comes from. So kind of a neat little website that people can see where the name Eilers comes from. I come from the state of California, so that's why the image of California is in there. I graduated from Stanislaus State, and so that is the logo of the school. Up here is just an interest of mine, right? So we're kind of in the field of technology, so that could be a video that links out to something that I've created within tech, and then a little bit more personal here, right? So it would be a video of my family. So I'm just going to click on that one, and hopefully it loads pretty quick, but this would be an example of a story or a digital video that I created that involves my family. So it gives you a little personal insight of who we are, all coming from this coat of arms. And so it allows you to create something that, again, enhances the learning experience for kids to interact with. And I always like to say, there's only so much that you can do with, a paper text or a book. You can't, you click on a page as much as you can with your finger, and it's not going to take you anywhere, right? You're kind of stuck with that. Whereas this, it gets you in the environment of creating something that allows people to see something a little bit more deep. So that's the end product. So I'm going to show you how to create one of these. But before I show you that, my suggestion would be to maybe make a template of your coat of arms. So here you can see I've created a template that I would share with my students. For example, if you use Google Classroom, this would be the template that you would share to make a copy for each of your students. So then they can then insert anything that's related to them as they proceed. So one nice little kind of, it's not really a secret, but it's just something good to know, is that yes, you've got this kind of checkered background to build on, like a blank canvas, but you can insert text or different things outside of that canvas. So for example, as you can see over here on the gray kind of border, I can still load in things there. In this case, it's instructions and telling where I want those objects or where you could place some of those objects. And then I've got some instructions right here. Obviously, you want these instructions removed when you turn in this final product. So, I might have a rubric that states you've got to have these 5 things inserted into your coat of arms. And then to make sure that your coat of arms is all, shiny and it looks good, you need to remove all of these little directions and arrows so it's all nice and clean, and obviously then looks something like this. So that's one recommendation that I would give you, is to start out with a template to be able to share with students, and then they can build off of that. And I'll take this template and share it with Jay so he can share it with you guys and utilize within your learning environments or work settings. Okay, so how do you make something like this? Well, I always like to start out in Google Drive, right? So I'm at my Google Drive, and Google Draw is, if you're not too familiar with it, it's kind of hidden a little bit. So you go past kind of the big 3, as I like to call them, and I go to More. And then you will find Google Drawings right underneath Google Forms. So I click on that, and it will take you directly to this blank canvas. And all this is basically showing that whatever you create is going to be a transparent image. No matter what you make or download it as, nothing will be in the background, basically. So I'm going to give this a title, and we're going to call it just COA for coat of arms short. And the very first object that I want in here is my actual shield. So up here in the top, in my toolbar, I go to Insert, and I'm going to go to Image and go Search the Web. And again, one of the beautiful things about working with Google for Education is any type of image that you search is going to be copyright free or have some type of Creative Commons licensing to it, which means you can use it within the realm of education without breaking copyright laws. So I'm going to search for shield, and I can search through and find the shield that I want to be kind of the background of my coat of arms. I like this first one, so I'm going to select it, and down here I can then say insert. And so it's going to insert it onto my canvas within Google Draw, and I can center it, right, make it look pretty. All right, so just like that, I've got my shield ready to rock for my coat of arms. The next thing that I want to put in is my initial of my last name. So I'm going to, again, go to Image, search from Web, type in the letter E for Eilers, and find that E that I want kind of put at the top of my coat of arms. So again, I like this one, so I'm going to select it, click Insert. And again, these images sometimes can be super big like this one, but notice as this image is selected, I can drag these little anchor points to make that image a lot smaller, because obviously I don't want that to be the main thing that's seen on my coat of arms. So then I just drag it up. Oops. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller than that. Maybe. There we go. And then place it exactly where I want it until I'm happy. All right, so kind of I got the, the main outline set up in here. And then I want to show where I'm from, so I can bring in a state or a country or even a continent if I want to go that route. And so I'm going to search for the state of California because, again, that's where I come from. Here's the state of California. A couple of different maps that I can choose. But I always like to kind of showcase, if you want to make sure that your image is a transparent image, I'm going to look for a California PNG transparent image. And so I'm going to search that way. So hopefully the image that I select is not going to have that kind of gross white background in the back. So I'm going to insert this, and hopefully this gives us a nice transparent image. It sure does. And so I'm going to put the state of California right smack dab in the middle, right? And so maybe if I wanted, I could use some of the drawing tools to label where Modesto is on the map. By the way, for those of you that don't know, Modesto is the hometown of George Lucas. You're welcome. All right, so you've got the state of California here, and then obviously based off of the template, and I'm following these directions, I've still got to get in the image of my college logo, insert something about myself, right? And something maybe about my family. So you can see where this is going. So obviously I would then insert the images into those specific spots and then attach the links. And the way you attach links to a coat of arms or any image is I select that image, And then I'm going to go up to the little insert link, or I can right click. And I know I cannot, never mind, I cannot do that. I click link. And let's say that this was the YouTube link that I want people to go to when they click on that. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that link and then paste it into that image. So now when people visit this coat of arms and they want to learn a little bit more about the state of California, or maybe it's a video of me moving to the state of California, whatever it might be, they can then click on that video and it's going to take them out to view whatever it is that I want them to view, right? Super powerful. And it gives them just a little bit more insight, a little bit more interactivity with this type of assignment. All right, so that's essentially what you would do, again, bringing in those pieces until it's finished. And then finally, the last thing that I would have them do, I'm going to switch back over to the one that's complete, is download this as a PDF. And so when I go to File in Google Draw, and I go to Download As, I've got a couple of options. I don't want it to necessarily be an image file because then I can't click on the link. So that's why I select PDF. So I'm going to go ahead and download that as a PDF file. And I'm going to then click it. And then bingo, now I've got a pretty cleaned up version of my coat of arms, right? And so as you can see, if I hover over those images, it will actually still link out to whatever link I had originally attached it to in that build of that Google Draw. All right, so that is how you would build a coat of arms in the G Suite app of Google Draw. Very powerful. What a great way to maybe showcase and show the backgrounds of all the students that are in your classroom. Great thing to showcase like at back to school night or an open house or something like that. So again, that is Google Draw with the coat of arms. So there you go, Jay.
Greg, that's great. Thanks so much. I love that it's visual, but the interactive piece kind of takes it to the whole next level and bumps that up. Really also love the idea of using a template. That's something I'd be using, and that's some new thinking for me, actually. So I appreciate that. Yeah. So thanks for taking your time and adding a bite of PD to our sharing community. And viewers, thanks for learning with us, and keep those nominations coming in, and let's continue to make sharing contagious.
That's right.